Multiple area school districts have announced that they will be virtual for at least the rest of the week. I'm Bronte Sorotsky with which districts are being affected.
Plus, Freeman health officials give an update on the rising COVID cases in the area, and Kansas Governor Laura Kelly lays out her deadline for eliminating the state sales tax on food.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A lot of area schools have gone virtual for the remainder of the week due to COVID-19 cases among students and staff, while some remain in person. This is KOAM News at 6. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky spoke with area schools about the rise in cases and has more on some schools closing and others remaining open.
School districts across the 4 states are facing the tough decision to temporarily go back to virtual learning. The Carthage School District announced Monday night they would be transitioning virtually for the rest of the week.
We anticipated numbers to increase once we return from Christmas break. It's just an obvious thing. However, the numbers of being quarantined and positive cases just were higher than we anticipated.
They weren't alone in this decision. Other 4-state schools like Miami, Commerce, and Grove will be virtual for the remainder of the week. Grove Public Schools sent us a statement that reads in part, "We decided to transition to distance learning due to a high volume of 6 students, 94 of which are COVID-related. We are also experiencing a high volume of sick teachers, 6 to 7 at each site, and not enough substitutes to cover classes." While schools like Carthage have decided to go virtual due to cases in the school district, other school districts like McDonald County say they haven't yet met the numbers needed to go virtual.
As normal as it can get during these situations, we're still doing in-school learning. We do have some issues with several people and kids being out of school due to sickness and other things. But as it stands right now, as we're talking, we're still in-school learning.
The Joplin School District announced on their Facebook page to stay open for the time being, stating approximately 16% of our students and 11% of our staff are absent for various reasons. So far, the district has been able to readjust classes and remain open. Because the number of COVID, flu, and other illnesses is evolving, our plan could change. I'm Bronte Sorotsky for KOAM News.
A lot of other area schools are going to remote learning, many making that decision just this afternoon. We have the list on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. As several schools deal with teacher shortages because of COVID, the Kansas State Board of Education today approved a new rule making it easier to hire substitutes. The board passed a declaration allowing qualified candidates to apply for a temporary emergency authorized license, or TEAL. It'll allow anyone over the age of 18 with a high school diploma and a commitment from the school district to apply through the Kansas Department of Education. Officials with Freeman Health System say COVID cases and hospitalizations are increasing locally. At a briefing today, Freeman's Director of Internal Medicine, Rob McNabb, noted that the Omicron variant is not as severe but is more contagious, leading to the spread. He also says the patients dealing with more severe illness are usually unvaccinated.
Looking at the 35 today, I think that the genders are pretty equally represented. I will say that the population that I'm seeing compared to what we talked about with Delta a few months ago, it's much older. I am seeing that 50 to 90 ranges.
The 35 he referred to, Freeman currently treating 35 COVID patients. Officials also say flu cases are higher than even pre-pandemic levels. Checking in with Doug Heddy for a first look at the weather.
Not bad for us today. Actually, a pretty good day, even though we had a lot of clouds that streamed through during the afternoon hours. These clouds are starting to break up just a little bit, but we'll call it partly cloudy skies for us tonight and then again tomorrow. Here's our next storm system right off the coast of the Pacific Northwest. This is going to roll in Friday night into Saturday. Still a lot of questions with it, but at least light snow in our western counties. Most of us will pick up some moderate snow, and the heaviest snow should be just to our east. So this is something we really want to focus on as we go through the next couple days. Now, until that point in time, we look pretty good. We're sitting mid to upper 40s to near 50 degrees right now. We'll slide back through the 40s into the mid 30s a little bit later on tonight. Of course, we're going to break down that next storm system here in just a bit.
See you then. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly called on lawmakers to put aside their partisan differences to work for Kansans in yesterday's State of the State address. The governor also laid out her priorities for the legislative session. At the top of that list is eliminating the state's sales tax on food. She wants that accomplished by Kansas Day, January 29th. Another large focus of the address was the pandemic and how the governor is working to combat it.
Rising case numbers from the winter holidays and Omicron have created the toughest surge the medical community has faced since the pandemic began in 2020. Last week, I issued two new executive orders that create staffing flexibility to keep residents, patients, and staff safe.
Governor Kelly is also calling for another freeze in tuition at Kansas colleges, and she wants to set aside $600 million of the state's surplus revenues in a rainy day fund. The Kansas gubernatorial election is heating up, with campaign fundraising and spending hitting unusually high levels. Governor Kelly raised more cash last year and spent more than her presumed Republican opponent, Attorney General Derek Schmidt. Campaign finance reports filed this week showed Kelly raised reportedly more than $2 million last year. Schmidt reportedly raising $1.6 million after launching his campaign in March. But Kelly also spent $762,000, while Schmidt spent only $331,000. The U.S. Supreme Court has upheld an Oklahoma appellate court decision that the High Court's landmark McGirt ruling on criminal jurisdiction in Indian country does not apply retroactively to state convictions that are finalized. The High Court rejected the appeal of Clifton Parrish, who argued the state did not have jurisdiction over him. Parrish is a member of the Choctaw Nation and was convicted in state court of a killing that happened on land within the tribe's historic reservation. A Missouri House panel advanced a plan for redrawing the state's congressional districts that keeps the current political balance in place. The map endorsed today by a House panel is projected to result in 6 Republican members in the U.S. House and 2 Democrats, the same as what currently exists. The redistricting plan is expected to be debated by the full House next week. Coming up, people in the woodworking industry from all over North America are at Pitt State to brush up on their knowledge. Plus, a Parsons, Kansas business is gaining national attention for its cutting-edge storage tanks. The woodworking industry encompasses a variety of professions, including sales of woodworking equipment. But it's important for those salespeople to understand what they're selling, so they come to Pitt State. The university is hosting its biannual Wood Tech Boot Camp. Draws in people from all over the country, even some from Canada. The camp is designed to compress a semester's worth of courses into a week to train sales professionals on the latest machinery and techniques.
The students, if you will, when they leave here, not only do they have a somewhat of an overview of what we're doing, but they also get that hands-on activity so they can hopefully then apply it into the different areas that they work in.
About 10 people are taking part in the boot camp. There will be another camp in May. A local company is making national waves. Tank Connection in Parsons, Kansas, manufactures and installs steel storage tanks. They've gotten so good at it, they were featured on the nationally televised program World's Greatest. The show features companies and organizations that produce industry-leading products and services.
With some of the way the economy is right now, you have the quote-unquote great resignation. It definitely helps with some of the employee turnover, and it brings new employees here. They want to work here. They want to be an owner, and they want to be really one of the world's greatest.
Tank Connections is at 3609 North 16th Street in Parsons. A little bit later, we're going to hear from the Carthage basketball team about their hot start to the season.
Plus, we're going to check out some snow chances for the weekend coming up next. Well, it turned out to be a nice day for us today. Temperatures pretty good. Most of us mid to upper 50s during the afternoon. A little bit warmer for us even tomorrow. So the next 2 days look really good. Then we have a storm system that is going to roll in over the weekend that will give us chances for some snow by the time we head into Saturday. Also turning quite a bit cooler as we go through the weekend. Of course, you can get my long-range forecast on my month-long blog. That is KOAMnewsnow.com. All right, look at our temps for us right now. Mid to upper 40s to near 50. It's not bad. We'll slowly drop back through the 40s as we go through the evening hours. Currently outside, sitting at 49. Southerly winds at about 5 to 10. Humidity is at 54%. Through the evening hours, slide back through the 40s into the 30s. So it's going to be kind of cold tonight, kind of low to mid 30s by the time you wake up tomorrow morning. Clouds during the afternoon hours kind of scooting through. They're breaking up just a bit. Still partly cloudy skies for us tonight, and then again into the daytime hours for us tomorrow. Let's jump west. Here's our next storm system right off the coast of the Pacific Northwest. You can see this ridge of high pressure. So this system will go over the ridge and then dip down through Kansas and parts of Oklahoma, kind of right on top of us, which doesn't give us the best track for snow, but it does give us a track for some snow as we head into the weekend. For us tonight, it looks fine. Low to mid 30s, partly sunny skies tomorrow. It warms up. It's going to actually be a pretty nice day. Starting at 34, 55 by noon. High temp right around 60. We're going to have northwesterly winds. They're going to be light at about 5 to 10. Let's go into tomorrow night. Clouds start to increase. So mostly cloudy skies by Friday morning. And then as we go through the daytime hours on Friday, just a lot of clouds, but we should still go into the mid 50s for afternoon highs. Friday night, showers start to increase. So this is mainly after midnight into Sunday morning or Saturday morning. By Saturday morning, our temperatures will be cold enough that we start to switch over to a little bit of light snow across the region. We get a band that kind of drops through as we go into Saturday afternoon. So here's late morning into the early afternoon hours. Now, this is still 3 days away. So if this system shifts a little farther east, our snow amounts go down. If it shifts a little farther west, the snow amounts start to go up. But right now, we're going to play it conservative. Light snow, Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. I think most of this will be out of here 9, 10 o'clock on Saturday night. But most of Saturday afternoon, we are going to have some snow across the region. So the potential for the heaviest amounts of snow stay east of the region, central, eastern Missouri, down through northeastern parts of Arkansas. Most of us, I would say a good chance, we're probably going to have 2 inches. And then in our western counties, Kansas and Oklahoma, a good chance that we should get 1 inch of snow. We'll fine tune this over the next couple days, and these amounts could go up, probably not down, but could go up as we go into tomorrow. All right, 60 tomorrow, 54 Friday, 35 on Saturday with rain and snow, and then cold by Sunday.
So will the snow stick around long enough for us to make any use of sleds?
Maybe, if we can get enough. Yeah.
It'll be wet, so you can certainly make
Yeah,
snowballs.
it'll be a wet snow.
Thanks, Doug. Coming up in sports, we're going to hear from the Steelers quarterback Ben Roethlisberger on Sunday's playoff opener against the Chiefs, and the Carthage boys aim to ride early momentum into the second half of the season. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
The Carthage boys picked up their first conference win last night, topping Carl Junction 63-29. With that win, the Tigers are 11-2 in their first 13 games. We caught up with the Tigers today to see what's behind one of the hottest starts in the area.
The Carthage Tigers are on a roll in the first 2 months of the season.
They took some bumps in the road late in the season last year, but it kind of shows the maturity of this group and the work that they put in the offseason to get off to a hot start and really against some high-level competition at the beginning of the year.
It feels great, especially coming off of last year with those having a 7-win record. This feels pretty good right now.
For the Tigers, it's guard play that's been key.
It's nice that we've got Joel Pugh, Justin Ray, and Max Templeman that aren't in a fall sport, and so those guys put time in and they lived in the gym, and we kind of go as they go, and they're the catalyst to our team. And you can tell that the time they put in has paid off.
Last year, having that time as varsity players, and then coming back this year with keeping those 3, it's been pretty easy to keep that rolling.
Earlier this season, Pugh became the program's all-time three-point king with his 136th career 3.
Basketball is my main sport, and that's what I love to do, so having that in the record books here at Carthage where I play, that's pretty amazing.
Carthage is 1-1 in the COC. Their lone loss was to Nixa in their conference opener last week. A learning experience against one of the top-ranked teams in the state.
We could not have started that game any worse. They came out and jumped on us, and we were kind of back on our heels. But for our kids to battle back and have that thing in single digits in the second half with a chance to cut it down to 5 a couple times in the third quarter and to stay in the fight of that is huge. Our kids aren't okay with a moral victory, but some good learning points to move through the rest of COC play after that.
The Tigers are hoping their early momentum and those lessons can lead them to an even stronger finish the rest of the way.
I think we've got a really good chance to be in the top tier of the league this year. We're not the flashiest team. You're not going to have a lot of highlight dunks from our group. But, you know, in a sense, we kind of like it that way. We want to stay under the radar and keep playing and doing what we do, and hopefully down the road it all shakes itself out.
The Tigers are scheduled to return to action on Friday on the road against Hillcrest. The Labette women's basketball team is at home tonight, hosting the Allen Red Devils. Labette, once again, one of the best in the nation, entering the night 8-2 overall, ranked number 4 in the country. That game already started with the Cards up 36-33 at halftime. We'll have highlights and post-game reaction from this one right here tonight at 10. The Kansas City Chiefs host the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday night in the first round of the NFL playoffs. The Chiefs are 12-5, while the Steelers are 9-7-1. Sunday's game could be Pittsburgh quarterback Ben Roethlisberger's final game in the NFL if the Chiefs knock him out. Now, the Chiefs are 12.5-point favorites, so, I mean, it's more likely than not. But also, Big Ben and the Steelers are embracing the underdog role and are ready to go out and play freely Sunday night at Arrowhead.
I would assume as a group you understand that, you know, we probably aren't supposed to be here. We're probably not a very good football team. We're out of 14 teams I think are in, we're probably number 14. We're a double-digit underdog in the playoffs. So let's just go play and have fun and see what happens. I hope we don't go in there and get blown out by 20 or 30 points. From what I understand, I'm sure both teams will be close to full strength as you can get this time of year. And, you know, we'll just go, hope we can keep it close.
And that's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Take a look now, take time now to honor a local veteran. Robert Weiss served in the U.S. Marine Corps from 1950 to 52. The Oswego, Kansas native was stationed in Korea, and we salute Sergeant Robert Weiss, a four-state hero. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Pitt State welcomes new international students arriving for the new semester. Also, few industries have faced the negative effects of the pandemic like education. A nationwide look at teachers leaving the classroom permanently. And tennis star Novak Djokovic making what many are calling a shocking admission. That and more tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. You probably heard of it being so cold you could fry an egg on a sidewalk. Well, look at this. Parts of New Hampshire were so cold yesterday you could freeze spaghetti in seconds. According to Mount Washington Observatory, someone was trying to have a meal when their pasta froze midair with the fork suspended in air between the noodles. The observatory reported 30 below temperatures with 65-mile-an-hour winds yesterday. Okay, I believe it froze like that. I don't believe it was an accident.
No, that was not an accident.
Someone didn't just go out there and think, I think I'll eat my pasta outside.
Yeah,
30 degrees below temperatures.
Yeah, you take the wet, cold noodles out there, they are going to freeze fast.
Right,
so,
right. It's an impressive demonstration, though.
It is.
It's not going to be that cold here.
No, we'll drop back into lower 30s later on tonight, but 60 tomorrow, 54 on Friday, and then we're going to watch for snow chances by the weekend.
Final sports notes.
Both Joel Pugh and Max Templeman for Carthage scoring 15 points per game. We're going to have more from the Tigers' hot start right here tonight at 10.
Thanks for joining us. We will see you right back here for KOAM News at 10. Let's make it a great evening.